$100 million of at a 50% discount. And I said, call me when you get to 65.
And that's the best company.
That's literally the best company.
That's the best
and the best founders to bet on, right? Of probably most private companies, it's them.
You don't like that valuation, Chamath? What is that valuation? 40 at 50% off?
It's less of a judgment on, but it's just more an observation that we're at the beginning of the beginning. And again, we're at the beginning of the beginning. Okay. For all of us that lived through 2000, this was 4 years of sheer hell and a grind. Now we have $30 trillion that we have to work through the economy, a recession we have to overcome, a war we need to end, and people all of a sudden assume that 2 or 3 rate hikes and 5 or 6 months of headlines are enough. And on the margin, maybe they're right. But from my perspective, it's less a judgment on, but it's just an observation that we're at the beginning of something that just fundamentally has to take some amount of time to work its way through the system. And so I don't understand why anybody would give up their liquidity in this moment right now. Why would you? Why would I give up $100 million of cash in my bank account? I would not do that right now.
Because the cash gives you so much optionality. It's basically
so much optionality.
So you're going to be looking for distress. And this is the thing. So you have a huge amount of capital leaving the ecosystem. Like we know Tiger is basically out. I mean, they were basically the default provider of growth stage capital over the last couple of years. So you have a lot of liquidity leaving the system. And then the liquidity that's in the system is waiting for distress. So you're right. And
there's like we talked about, there's $250 billion of quote unquote dry powder. I mean, I know Chamath thinks that people are going to give that money back, but there's never been this much venture money.
There's not that much. A lot of that's deployed.
They're not going to give it back.
You think a lot of that's deployed?
Yeah, look at that Tiger fund. Tiger raised a new $12 billion fund that was announced in March. And TechCrunch, we covered it on the show a month ago.
Yeah.
TechCrunch had an article saying it was already deployed in 6 months. So
I wasn't on that show.
Oh, that was the one where Jake, I'll try to replace you with Brad Gerstner.
We should do the show weekly going forward instead of monthly. It might be better to keep up with these trends.